Double After Hours podcast. Take one. Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Double After Hours podcast. We're back talking about yet another funny little film.
Dude, they keep getting funnier. I don't know how they do it, man.
Do they, like Charlie? Do they really?
It's a carousel of suckage. I love it. That's what they called me in high school.
Carousel of suckage at the
Charlie and
Circus.
the allegations.
You see, listen, guys, it's funnier if I keep them guessing.
It's a whole lot of still pending.
Exactly. You see, Spider-Man has a secret identity, and so does mine.
What does so does mine mean? So do I? Okay, so does
So welcome back to the Double After Hours podcast. So we got a really cool episode planned for today. We're talking about, as Brice said, the Amazing Spider-Man. Now, fun fact, this movie's bad. So, yeah. We're going to have a grand old time with this one. But why are we doing this? First of all, because we did the Sam Raimi episodes last year, and we said those were really fun to do. So, naturally, we got to look at Andrew Garfield Cat's duology, because he never got a third movie because the second one was really bad. Also because, you know, the MCU exists. But
the first one wasn't bad.
But anyway, no, I mean, like, because the way we're kind of looking at it is that the next Tom Holland one is supposed to come out next year. So this year kind of gives us a good chance to, like, do the Amazing ones. Then we'll do the Tom Holland ones next year. And then we'll get to Spider-Verse when it's convenient, because hey, the Spider-Man episodes we do, they're fun highlights. They do pretty well. So let's keep that gravy train rolling. But I've been yapping for a while, but we never introduced who we were.
That's right. Well, I'm Aaron Gresser. I'm here in the Virgin Circus. I don't run the carousel of suckage.
Nah, a private attraction at the Virgin Circus, which don't question the irony on that one.
That's right. That's right.
And I am Charlie Robison. I've been running the socials. Sorry, there hasn't been a lot of things posted lately. I've been busy writing scripts for school, so it's been a busy old time for me. So stuff is coming out. I promise. I'm working on a couple things right now, but yeah. Hey, buddy.
Hi, I'm Brice, and I just got lost in something. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. For whatever reason, I'm
just looking at Bryce's screen, and his face is like deadpan, like no emotion, just like.
Bro, I swear, I feel like the wheel is gonna pick me. So I'm trying to find the wiki article I found earlier, because I pre-check for ones to get a good one other than just Wikipedia. Yeah. And so I was trying to find it again, and I forgot that I had to introduce myself. So I'm Brice Guskovict. That probably gonna be edited out.
No, we're keeping that in. That's funny.
I promise I'm here. I've said I'm like 18 times. Charlie and Aaron can probably see the bags under my eyes. It's been a long week. So, you know, obviously the way I want to finish it out is with the Amazing Spider-Man. You know, Andrew Garfunkel is exactly what I want in my life right now.
What do you mean? He's a perfect man.
Perfect man, no flaws.
Perfect man, no flaws.
Listen.
Yeah.
I also, as I said before, I did enjoy this movie, but we'll get into that a little bit more later.
Yeah, but you've said your piece. Aaron, what did you think of this stinky little film? What do you got?
Well, I mean, it's my first time watching it all the way through. I've seen clips a billion times. Actually, we mentioned that in the last episode.
What?
But yeah, how do I remember that? It couldn't be, because I just edited that an hour ago.
Oh man!
Yeah, mind blowing.
Breaking news:
Barb is still dead, by the way. Nothing has changed.
I'm hoping that in these next seasons we watch, she's not there.
Yeah, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
I know through 3 of them she isn't. Season 5, come on.
Right. We got to keep the dream alive. But yeah, I've seen clips a few times, and watching this now, it's like, this kind of feels familiar. I've seen this one before. It's a classic.
Classic?
There's a, well, maybe I won't go that far. But not really classic material. But it's a film. I'll say that.
You're not seeing this on Turner Classic Movies. Don't sit there and pretend.
You'll see this on TNT.
Oh yeah, you're seeing this on FX that has the movies.
Oh no.
This is an FX special every week. I don't want to hear any of this.
Oh my god. So yeah, we'll get into some deeper thoughts, but it's a film.
Okay.
Yeah. So in case you guys haven't figured it out, I like Spider-Man. I know I've been real subtle about that before. But I know I'm really breaking new ground here on episode 42.
Breaking news.
But breaking news, Charlie likes Spider-Man. There's a parade in the streets. But no, I mean, like, it's been a while since I've seen this one. I think I watched it when it came out when I was at the ripe old age of 8. So
yeah.
And it's been a while since I've seen it since, but like generally, I think my opinion honestly hasn't changed that much, weirdly enough. Like I remember watching it and going, it's doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. And I'm not saying that in the sense that adaptations can't make changes. I firmly disagree against that. Like, but I'll get into it more later, but I think the changes this movie makes are inherently detrimental to what Spider-Man is. And I'm again, like, you can change the character around. Like, I'm not saying you can't. Like, we just had a whole cartoon come out on Disney Plus, and it made a lot of changes I actually really enjoyed. So it's like, I'm not going to sit there and say change is bad, but I am going to say that I think that this movie just didn't handle them the best, and it felt very cluttered in terms of what it was trying to do and trying to say. It felt like there were scenes and like things that were very much out of order when it came to stuff in this movie. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. That's the sequel. Like, there are a couple parts of it that I actually do enjoy. There's a couple of scenes that I think are really solid. I think Andrew Garfield did a decent job of what he was given. I'm not in love with his whole portrayal. We'll get into that, but no, I think this movie is just a really messy 5 out of 10 wet fart that just kind of happened.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, I'm not the Marvel superhero guy. That's
what?
Your choose domain. I know.
Breaking news.
Aaron doesn't care about spandex.
But no, I can definitely see the out of orderness of this. The more I think about it.
But Brice, what do you feel? What do you think?
Perfect movie, no flaws. Best Spider-Man portrayal.
What? Well, I thought you said Spider-Man 3 was the best one. What do you mean?
So here's my deal.
He had to change heart.
Andrew Garfield. Silly little Andrew Garfunkel. He did a really great job of playing Spider-Man. Not as much Peter Parker, but Spider-Man, I feel that was good. I really liked the suit, with the exception of the goggles being like gold. That was a weird choice. But other than that, I really liked it. I also freaking hated the design for the lizard. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I don't think it's good at all. Like, they could have done way cooler, way better, but like they chose to make like a really bald looking skin head of a lizard, and I
he looks like a Goomba.
He looks awful, dude. The plot was all right. Also, I'm a sucker. I love Dennis Leary. Like, he's one of my favorite actors, so I like that too. What else did I like about the movie? There's a lot that I actually liked. Surprisingly, about this one, I liked a lot, but also that might just be in hindsight comparing it to its absolute trash sequel.
Can't wait to do that one.
Oh, I'm gonna sit that one out.
What?
I'm not rewatching it.
No!
You can't keep getting away with this.
I'm gonna grab you by your hair if you don't freaking cooperate on this one. But that movie is a stinky trash. Well, guys, we're talking about the first one. But
otherwise, I really do like this movie actually a lot.
Yeah.
I don't get what Charlie means about like a lot of out of character things. Like, I disagree with Charlie, not just for sport, but for
not just for pleasure
issue,
as it usually is.
Yeah, usually it is. But all right, that's my thoughts.
Shane, what do you think? right, thanks, Shane.
Thank
What? We did it to Brice when he wasn't here.
That's true.
Now we have to do it to Shane.
Yeah.
We have to make it fair.
Fair.
Can't wait to get like a paragraph long comment.
Yeah, right.
The keyboard warriors summoning their strength.
It's gonna be wonderful.
Wonderful.
But we need to summon our strength for a time-honored tradition.
Which returned. It's back.
It took one episode break for Stranger Things, but it's back now. Guys, we gotta do quick synopsis.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm gonna guys, it's a synopsis, but it's quick. Aaron's back.
I'm gonna need a minute after that.
Really?
I don't know.
Really?
That's a lot to comprehend.
I know it's a lot to comprehend because we've had episodes that went 2 hours long before.
Ooh.
So
we
wasn't that quick.
Band for band with Whiplash, bro.
We really did, but we've been getting a lot better at not doing that. So, guys, I promise it's quicker this time.
Okay.
But we have
Actually,
a wheel.
a quick synopsis.
We have a wheel to decide who is going to be reading.
Yes, we do.
This quick synopsis.
Oh boy.
All right, Aaron.
Spin.
Give it that big old spin.
Shane.
He's not it. Why did you never delete him from the wheel?
No, I just left it. It's Shane again. What? No.
Man. Shane really wants to do this.
Oh my god, it picked Shane for a third time.
This is
No way. Okay, all right. This time around, it is Brice.
I knew it.
Oh,
It was not for nothing. I locked in for a reason, folks.
you locked in.
Okay, so this is why I pulled this up. So let's start at the beginning. While playing hide and seek with his father, Richard I'm having a stroke.
Nixon.
Well,
Spider-Man, I need you to get out of here. I just imagine Nixon for Futurama, like bugging Spider-Man.
oh my
Father.
God. While playing hide and seek with his father, Richard, young Peter stumbles upon his father's study, which is ransacked by unknown perpetuators. I know it's
Perpetrators.
I know. After Richard saw the study himself, he left his home with his wife Mary along.
Yeah, Water got a little crazy there. He had to leave.
Spidergate. Richard and Mary left Peter to be taken care of by his Aunt May and Uncle Ben, and then left to continue his research. Under the care of Ben and May, without a word from either of his parents, Peter later grew into a teenager who enrolled in Midtown Science High School, which, why is it named that? Why?
That's a change they've been doing for a while. I think this move was on the big perpetrators of that, where they send Peter to a more sciencey STEM school.
But Flash Thompson is there.
I know, and it doesn't really make sense, and that's one of the problems. That unlike in the Tom Holland movies, where Flash is also kind of a nerd, they never really did that here.
Yeah.
He's kind of just a block of string cheese that shows up.
Yeah.
I also loved in
block of
in the first part where he's walking around trying to find him, and he's like, "Dad," and then he sees all everything's destroyed, and his dad comes in, and then just all of a sudden, dun, 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 dun.
It's the cut is so straight. It's there's no investigation. He's like, ah! It felt like we were missing a scene there. It's great.
There, he was somewhat of an outcast and was continuously bullied by stereotypical jock Eugene Flash Thompson, who knocked Peter down for defending a fellow student who he was picking on.
Which, I gotta say, real quick, I do not buy that Andrew Garfield would get bullied. Me personally, the kid that Flash is bullying, I believe that. That kid looks very bullyable. He's very bully prone. I get
target.
that.
He's a prey.
Because he's short, but Andrew Garfield is really tall. He's a tall guy. He looks like he's taller than Flash in some scenes, and it's he just doesn't seem like he's rolling on a skateboard or whatever, and they're trying to do this alt thing with him, and it's would he get bullied? I don't know. I didn't believe it. So I'm looking at him going, "Oh, Flash, Eugene," and then he gets this crap beat out of him, and I'm like, "Whoa."
Peter became acquainted with Gwen Stacy, who admired Peter's act of bravery. Peter immediately was interested in her. After class, Peter went home for lunch and helped his Uncle Ben in fixing a broken pipe in the basement. Ben went back upstairs later, and Peter found an old, suspicious suitcase. He brought it upstairs to ask about it, and his uncle said that the case was his dad's. Peter went straight to his room and started investigating the suitcase. After a thorough investigation, he found more of his father's notes and belongings, including a pair of glasses and a notebook with a detailed formula, the decay rate algorithm. Ooh. Ben came to Peter's room and confronted him about his findings, trying to comfort Peter about his parents. He also revealed the name of his father's coworker, Dr. Curtis Connors.
Dr. Grapp.
Peter immediately
He makes his return.
Are we done yet?
Brice, in our defense, you're reading it straight from the article, very monotone. We're going insane here. Everyone knows that quick synopsis is off the top. No, nothing professional about it. Come on, Brett. You gotta give him some pizzazz. You gotta give him some sauce. You gotta.
After Ben left, Peter immediately searched the internet for more information about Richard Connors' work.
You almost said Richard Nixon again. Richard Connors?
Oh, God.
Richard and Connors' work.
Oh, there you go. Wait, why is it like Richard's? Why is it Richard first name and like Connor's last name? That's weird.
Oh man,
that's a weird way they wrote that.
Your move, Wikipedia editors.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
Aaron.
Yeah.
This might be the greatest quick synopsis we've ever done.
Oh,
I think so.
This is why I can't ever be picked for this again.
What do you mean? You just gotta get better.
After Ben left, Peter immediately searched the internet for more information about Richard and Connor's work, which led him to the discovery of his parents' death due to a plane crash.
Now you just sound like when I turned to Carl Weezer. And like Jimmy Neutron.
Dr. Connors
From Connors alone, Peter was able to locate him at Oscorp Industries' famous tower and decided to go there. Peter sneaks into Oscorp posing as one of the interns.
Which, by the way, that's really mean. Peter probably should have done that. That's really
the guy got dragged out.
That's pretty awful. I didn't like that. That was not a W. Peter moment. That's a point.
Well, this whole movie is not a W. Peter moment. And locates Dr. Connors.
Peter manages to sneak inside of the bio lab and
freaking Aqua Teen Hunger Force. What's happening here?
I'm trying to do Elmo.
That's Elmo.
If I wanted to do Meat Rat, I would do it like this.
There you go.
There we go.
Peter manages to sneak inside. Moment of curiosity leads Peter to touch webs, causing spiders to fall and land on him. He brushes them off, but he didn't notice one that bit him.
So stupid. He went to the spider origin room and got bit. He went into the plot room.
The plot room.
The plot room.
Next in line for origin story.
Peter Parker.
Chick.
Here is your spider. Here is your dead uncle.
Do you have reservations?
Seems like you've been often.
I'm just imagining it being like the freaking waiting room in Dragon Ball Z where they decide if Goku gets to meet King Kai.
King Yama, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm imagining.
But instead of the other world where it's all nice and happy, it's just a crappy DMV where it has multiple Peter Parkers crying about their stupid dead parents.
And uncle. After he regroups his class, his whole life changes. He starts gaining spider-like powers. On the subway ride home, he accidentally knocks out some street thugs and clings to the top of the subway like a little
takes off a
weirdo.
girl's shirt. Can't forget about that one.
I forgot about that one. Yeah. He nearly wrecks his aunt's bathroom and house with his super strength. And then he got to go humiliate Flash at the basketball game.
Which I gotta say, That's the
funny.
dumbest thing I've ever seen.
I thought it was funny.
No, it was funny, but it felt so out of place. Like Peter just like soars through the sky like it's High School Musical, and Troy Bolton's about to get the game-winning dunk. Like, ah!
Is that not the first thing you would do with superpowers, though, Charlie?
No, the first thing I would do would be like, I don't know. What would be like a funny sport to do with superpowers? I'd play football, actually. That's what I would
football, bro. I'd go straight to the NFL, bro.
I would become a running back and just freaking push everyone out of the way.
Nah, bro, give me linebacker. I want to hurt some people.
So,
you have super strength and you're just murdering quarterbacks left and right.
So on the podcast where you talked about Amazing Spider-Man 1, you said as soon as you got superpowers, you would become a linebacker and hurt people.
Yes.
You are being arrested for 17 accounts of domestic violence.
Stop me.
It's better than the intro to Stranger Things where we talked about a certain son murdering. Burying him under the 80s music episode.
What? I don't remember this at all.
Oh, you're going to have a fun time listening to the intro of that one.
Future nerd, put that intro in here for fun.
The original, just for those that are curious, the only surviving copy has been put on a flash drive, locked in a safe, and then that safe has been thrown, I'd say about maybe 10 feet underground at some anonymous coordinates. So,
yeah.
Will it be dug up at some point? Maybe. But that's for you to find. X marks the spot, so go find it.
Exactly.
Best of luck to you.
And I was there to watch one of my children get shanked, so that was pretty rad.
Listen, he was writing down the coordinates. I don't know what to tell you.
No, I know. We had to kill him. Like,
Yeah,
no questions asked.
With the is he like on top of the flash drive in the safe? So like that tree. Did we plant a tree? Yes, we did. I think we did plant a tree like over it. So like
No, I dropped him in the 6-foot hole and I dropped the safe on him so he can't move. And then I started
I couldn't remember the order that we put them in. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, we threw the boy down first. We threw the safe with the hard drive in it, so his chest is collapsed. His ribs are like broken and bleeding. So there's no shot he's climbing. Then we buried him, and then we planted the tree. So we took life, gave life, it all evens out. Don't ask.
So they're gonna like dig up the tree, and then because they're gonna be looking for the kid, right? And
right, no, they're not. Okay. He was unpopular.
Well, I'm saying if in a case they did decide.
Yeah, I mean, like if someone loved him, sure.
Right.
Know.
They're gonna dig up the tree. They're gonna find the safe. They're gonna open it up. They're gonna say, "Wow, there's a USB stick. Let's find out what this is." They're gonna hear do 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 do, and they're gonna just call it the whole search. It's over.
I like how the old intro is now being reserved for things we don't like.
Yes, I believe so. And if that episode ever actually comes out, I think I'm gonna put the old intro on it just
that's
for
funny.
Gets and shiggles.
I love that.
Oh my god.
All right,
scribe.
All
right, bard. Read me a poem.
Peter is supposed to go back and pick up Aunt May from like some stuff, but instead he goes back to Oscorp Tower and helps Dr. Connors create the lizard serum, which I don't know how they didn't see was a bad idea. You name it the lizard serum to regrow lost limbs. Like, well, what you think is about to happen?
Mardi Gras.
They tested it on a lab rat with 3 legs, and shortly after, it regrows a leg. Wow.
He's like the test audience right now.
Connors thanks Peter, and they walk home together. Sweet. But, Peter didn't get Aunt May, so she has to walk alone in the dark, which starts an argument between Ben and Peter, where Peter's like, "I'm sorry, I forgot, blah, blah, blah." It's like, no, and it's like it's a big fight. So anyways, Peter storms out, slams the door behind him.
The movie.
Exactly. Yeah, Uncle Ben turned into Schnitzel from Chowder and went rowda rowda rowda
rowda rowda rowda. That's exactly what happened.
Everyone knows.
I'm straight up rodding it. So
I'm chowdering it. I'm
munging it.
Ugh.
So
you chowdering it, Aaron? You a big chowder head?
Bro, Chowder was my favorite show as a kid. Anyways,
no.
So Uncle Ben gets mad. May tries to say it's not a big deal and it was all right. And Ben wasn't happy. So Ben goes to look for him. And while that's happening, Peter finds himself at a convenience store where he tries to buy chocolate milk. He is 2 cents short of the chocolate milk.
Huge.
Dang.
And they don't let him buy it. So Peter steps out of the line, and the only other guy there happens to be a robber. So he hands Peter the milk. Peter gets it for free. He gets some free chocolate milk. I don't know. I'm just saying. There's some positive in this. Then
your uncle dies, so you get free chocolate milk. What a trade.
Bro, call me the Dallas Mavericks general manager the way I'm about to be making a bad trade. Anyways. This is why I can't do quick synopsis, guys.
It's like text to speech.
Shut up. We get a I missed the part where that's my problem reference. Sadly, not totally, but the guy robs the store. The robber's running out. While that's happening, Uncle Ben tries to intervene. Uncle Ben gets shot. Andrew, I'm sorry.
He had to go for the gun. No one was saying he had to. He goes, hey! And then runs at the gun. Why did you do that?
Mm-hmm. And so then Peter's like, "Oh, what's going on over here?" Oh, he walks over. I wonder. Oh, Uncle Ben! And then he proceeds to scream, "Somebody help me! Somebody help me!" And nobody does a thing.
That's pretty New York of them. I'll give them points.
Yeah. So Peter's enraged. He puts on a really weird disguise with some sunglasses and a ski mask to try and find this guy. He's looking after everybody he can, and he's beating up criminals, webbing them to walls.
Just being a real meanie head about it, going oh man, it would have been a lot worse if you're the guy I'm looking for. I'm evil.
Yeah, and then he sees a luchador poster, and he's like, "Oh, I need a cooler costume, like freaking Nacho Libre over here." And then he makes his web shooters, blah, 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 blah. The fun stuff,
You could tell they're fun by the way you're describing it.
Then he swings over to Gwen Stacy's house. They kiss, just like no date, no previous contact. They talked a couple times at school, and they're like, "Yeah, I got this." What else? Then at Oscorp Tower, Dr. Rajit Ratha demands that Dr. Connors start human trials before he loses his job. Nobody wants to volunteer for this because why would you, So Connors goes, I'm missing an arm. I'm going to inject myself with this serum.
As you do.
As one does. And now he's the Lizard, which is, one of the worst looking supervillains in modern live action movies. Just my hot take there.
I'm trying to think of one that looks worse. I mean, I think the original Steppenwolf was probably a little worse than this.
The original Steppenwolf was really bad, yeah.
But yeah.
But that one at least had some creativity with the horns and stuff. This is just green, bald, tail, claws. There you go.
This looks like the average Denny's enjoyer. I can't even lie.
Denny's?
At Denny's!
At Denny's. So he just starts going around picking up cars, throwing them off the side of the bridge, the fun stuff, a typical afternoon in, Long Island, New York.
It was night.
Doesn't matter. It's a typical afternoon in Long Island, New York. Ignore that this is also in Manhattan. So throwing crap everywhere, and the bridge is burning, and Spider-Man goes. There's that whole memorable scene where Spider-Man takes off the mask. It'll give you my powers. Hands it to the kid climbs.
I like that scene a lot. Actually,
I do like that scene.
I liked.
I like the scene a lot,
cute.
but it's every 5 seconds on YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels with
really, I haven't seen it in a while.
with cringy inspirational music behind it. Yeah, it is. The music where it's so loud you can barely actually hear the audio of.
I mean, I know that, but because I don't do that, but
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen that clip in a long time, so I guess I'm just on the weird side of the tracks.
Mm-hmm. So the next day, Peter realizes, hold on, Lizard plus man equals Connors. So he goes and reports it to Captain Stacy, who thinks it's a joke. And get out of my office. And then he's like, hey guys, I need you to like look into this, like get me everything you can on counters, because like, you know the deal. I just got to make the kid feel insignificant first, you know.
Very important.
So Peter wants money, and so he goes to
money.
Get more pictures of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And to do this, the idiot writes his name, property of Peter Parker, on the bottom of a camera. Remember that for later. It's an important tool that'll help us later. And then he sets up a camera to take photos in the sewers while he waits for Kurt Connors to come around. Connors finally gets there, and he's fully lizarding it. You know?
Yeah, he's lizarding it. You know, he's lizarding it right now.
Hard. And he tries to kill.
Oh, that's
Peter.
what I call getting some tail.
He tries to kill Peter as one. And scratches the spider off of his suit, almost unmasks him. Peter falls into the water and gets washed away. And the lizard sees the camera and picks it up and goes, Peter Parker.
Like a freaking alien.
Yeah.
I hate how he speaks. I hate that he can speak. It's so bad.
Yeah, it's really bad. He crushes the camera, and now he knows Spider-Man is Pete. So the lizard searches for Peter in school, and once he enters, everybody leaves except for Peter and Gwen. Peter tells Gwen to leave because, blah, blah, blah. It's how it always goes. Like, I want to stay with you. You need me. Girl, you're just going to die. Get out. So Peter suits up.
Movie.
Peter just suits up and, he runs. Fights the lizard, blah, blah, blah. And then,
he got shot while he was doing it.
The captain is also looking for Spider-Man.
Captain Stacy?
Yeah, Captain Stacy. I couldn't remember his name. Because
I did the exact same thing in Spider-Man 3. I also forgot Captain Stacy's name.
Yo, did you actually?
Yeah.
That's so funny. But basically, there was also that one scene. I don't know if I just missed this in the summary or what, but like Peter had dinner with the Stacy family and everybody.
Yeah, he did. And he was arguing about Spider-Man, how he's a good guy. And Captain Stacy was like, no, he's not. He's a
menace.
Like the cops.
He's a menace. So then they fight. He loses to the cops. He gets unmasked. He fights everyone. He leaves. He gets shot in the leg at this point, if I'm correct, so he can't web swing as much. I don't really get how that works, where he can't shoot his webs that are in a mechanical. Also,
because he can't run. Like,
I get not being able to run as much, but like his webs are affected.
He's like in pain, Like,
yeah, but his webs are affected, and the webs are a freaking mechanical thing attached to his arm. But then there's that really cool crane scene that I always really like, where they line up all the cranes for him to swing from. And then he gets to the lizard, and he's ready to fight him, And Peter had already told that lizard would be at Oscorp Tower. Now, for whatever reason, the lizard is trying to make all citizens in New York human lizards, which don't ask why. That was, just kind of something they decided to throw in for funsies, I guess. So there's a chemical cloud.
Because he was going insane.
Yeah, the lizard enters Oscorp Tower biolab to get the lizard serum, but Gwen was already there. Surprise! Stole the serum. She was hiding in the vents, but the lizard found Gwen. Out of reaction, she sprayed him with a small flame, which did nothing. Nice. So lizard got the serum and left for the roof. And then they start fighting on top of the antenna. He sprayed the lizard with that freeze antidote thingy. Yeah, broke off his arm. That was pretty cool. Because also Captain Stacy's there too with a shotgun. So that happened.
I'm gonna double pump him, Peter.
They finally changed the serum for the antidote, because that was also something that they left out of this, is that Spider-Man made an antidote.
No, it was Gwen.
Gwen made an antidote. Yeah, they didn't say that in here. Lovely. But they all start helping each other out, It's all cool. He's back to Kurt Connors now.
Aaron is in pain. Aaron's in pain.
Please never let me do quick synopsis again.
It doesn't just have to be me. We're not even gonna have the fun of me not talking. Does it have to be me now? Have you proven that you can't entertainingly read a darn synopsis? Is what I do. The Lord's work to you, Brice.
How do I do it? I need like a master
I am in vain.
I need a master class.
This is a hernia. I am passing a kidney stone while listening to you butcher The Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Audience, I'm sorry.
The holy quick
It's like I'm
synopsis has been
listening to a
tainted.
phone book.
But you know who it's better than? The person
What?
the wheel picked 4 times in a row.
I know! He was better at it than you! Let's not throw him under the bus, Brice! No! You don't get a scapegoat today! So, Brice, swing down back to that quiz synopsis. I'm gonna flip something up. Come on! You're almost at the end, Brice. Hit me!
Breaking news. Charlie defends Shane Siegel.
Someone has to.
No. Okay, hold on. I gotta wipe my tears because I'm crying laughing.
You can also try
And his Alexa's going off, apparently. He can't stand the absolute crime.
I don't know what's going on.
I do. I'll finish it for you. So he goes up to the freaking stupid antenna, throws that serum in, that big portal becomes blue. Everyone who was a lizard, because guess what? Lizard sprayed some people with lizard gas earlier, but we forgot to mention that part. He decides that, you know what? I'm going to solve that stuff real quick. So everyone's fine. But guess what? In all of this commotion, the lizard stabs Captain Stacy. And Stacy's like, oh man, I'm dying. Peter, you got to keep this mask. You know, you're going to need it. But if you're going to do all this stuff, I got to ask you one thing. Stop dating Gwen. It's like, you're gonna do him like that? Like, really? You're gonna not let him date Emma Stone? Like, me personally, like, if he was dying and, like, I was told not to date Emma Stone, I'm shooting him. Like, me personally? No, I'm banging your daughter. Like, no. Like, So Captain Stacy dies. Well, what a shock, right? But the lizard lives, because, like, and he pulls Peter back up after he's fallen or whatever. It's like, oh, man, whatever. And so they have a funeral for Mr. Gwen Stacy. Lizard's behind bars. And guess what? Everyone else was there. Her teachers were there. Flash was there. But Peter wasn't there. He was skulking around on the rooftops, but he wasn't there. And so she goes over to Peter's house and it's like, tells basically Peter everything I just said. It's like, why? And Peter's like, I can't do this anymore, man. I can't date her. I can't do it. Like, he can't do it. And Gwen, like, leaves and she looks at him and goes, he promised you, right? And it's like, there's your out, Peter. Like, she doesn't care. What are you doing? Go, whoa. Like, what are you doing? And so Peter closes the door and he's all sad and he's all sulking. And Aunt May is like, you know, Peter, listen, you're good. And that's the one thing you are. Ignore the fact that Aunt May has been mad at Peter this whole movie. Ignore that part. But Peter's like, welp, alrighty then, May. So he goes back to school. Apparently him and Flash are friends now or whatever. Cool. He's wearing a Spider-Man shirt because that's a comics thing. He likes Spider-Man because comic reference, grr. And they go to this English classroom or whatever. And the teacher's like, there's only 10 plots in fiction, but there's only one plot. Who am I? I mean, sure. I mean, I disagree with you, but that's also because... Anyway, I actually don't have a root. It's just like, it's a very plot convenient thing to say, who am I? And it's like, and they can only make one promise or whatever. The promises they can't keep. And then Peter like goes up to Gwen and is like, because he's sitting behind Gwen and goes, but that's what makes them so fun. So it's like, we already don't care. So because like, he's just going to date Gwen in the next movie anyway, because who cares, right? We're not gonna sit on this decision. And then the sequence ends with Peter like kind of walking around. He listens to that voicemail that Uncle Ben kind of left for him one more time that doesn't like makes half sense, but whatever. And he swings around. We get the iconic shot where he throws his whippy hand at the screen in the dark moonlight, directed by Mark Webb. Fade to black. Now you see, Brice, that's how you do it.
So, audience, let us know who did better. Me, the superior reader, or Charlie, the loser.
Aaron.
Yeah.
We're on the edge of greatness here.
Yeah.
We're edging greatness.
All right. Okay.
Also,
All right.
at the very end, there is an end credit scene
Oh, I forgot.
in which a mysterious man walks up and goes, does he know the truth about his parents? And Kirk Connors goes, yeah, he's Richard Nixon.
Yeah. Everybody knows.
No, in all seriousness, he's like, no, leave the kid alone.
Yeah.
So-
Are we ever going to find out who that character is? No? Okay. Cool. Perfect movie, no flaws. All right, gang. We got 6 spectacular entries on the Amazing Spider Wheel, and we got to read them out in large detail. What, Aaron? What? Who, boy? What is this? Oh, boy, yeah. Other Spider-Man reference here.
No, I was gonna go back to that edge of greatness. That was so rudely interrupted. What an episode, man!
Perfect episode, no fuss.
39 minutes in. Oh boy! All right. Well, let's start fittingly with Peter Parker.
Oh, Peter. Or Peter Parker. So listen, gang. A lot of people subscribe to the idea that Andrew Garfield is a perfect Spider-Man, no flaws. I am not one of these people. So I honestly think in this movie, he's overacting. Which is strange because I think he's doing a solid job for what it is, but it always feels like his Peter is like stammering. You know, it always kind of feels like he's saying the same thing twice. Because I think what happened is that they let Andrew improv a little bit because it feels like we're getting a lot of double entendres in the fact that we're just kind of hearing his like dialogue twice. He says the same thing twice to Aunt May and Uncle Ben. And like so much of that is true for the movie. And I'm sitting there going like, Peter, I get it. Like, hurry it up. Like, I'm not saying I can't hold on something slow, but I am saying is that when you're telling me the same thing multiple times, like you're kind of like speaking like in the okay, kind of stammery voice with this dialogue. It makes every scene drag out a lot longer than it should. I'll get into that more with Gwen because I want to talk about it with her as well. But it feels like with Peter, he has 2 modes. He has stammery, okay mode and menace to society Spider-Man mode, where he kind of is just a criminal. Like, this is like the version of Spider-Man that J. Jonah Jameson has in his head. You know, like this is the menace Spider-Man. That's what he is. Because so many of his lines are like, not clever or funny. They're just very dickish. Like, I'll keep it a buck where he's in the car and is like, oh man, a knife. And like, he goes back down. Like, stop. You're trying too hard, Andrew. Like, I get this is what they gave you, but it's like, you're just becoming such a character of yourself here. Like, you don't need to do that. Like, and in a weird way, it feels like an opposite problem of Toby, where I think Toby was never fully confident quipping behind the mask. Like, or whatever. Like, I keep thinking the line of Spider-Man 1 where he goes, it's you who's out, Gobby. Out of your mind. And it's like, all right, Toby. I have to take you out back for that one. Like, I gotta take you out back for that one. Gotta shoot some sense into you or something. I don't know, man. But it feels like with Andrew here, he has the opposite problem of Toby, where Toby felt like a kid in those movies and like wasn't confident enough to do anything. Andrew's way too confident, and he's like just gonna kind of go for it. I keep thinking of that stupid scene where he's skateboarding, or whatever, using his powers, and he goes up to the camera and yells, "Woo!" Like, what was that? Like, Andrew.
It was a sound.
It's like,
It was the sound.
It was the sound. It's like, I feel like some of this movie, and especially with the Spider-Man, it's like, this is just Sam Raimi's like edgier take. Like, I think there's a couple of parts where I'm looking at Andrew Garfield going, this is just Tobey Maguire. Like, he would just bully Maguire permanently or something. Like, there's something wrong with it, man.
The
like,
edge-tastic Spider-Man.
Okay. Edge of Spider-Verse. Okay. But just, I don't know, man. Like, I like Andrew Garfield, but I felt like for so much of this, his chemistry with other characters, or his like delivery, which is very like aggressive New Yorker or breathy New Yorker, you know? Like, it just felt like it was trying too hard.
That's fair. I can get that, but also at the opposite, I feel it does a good job. Obviously, some of the improv and the overacting, or whatever you want to call it, definitely I can see your points, but also I feel this is like this is definitely how a teenager would behave if he just got superpowers, right? Like sneaking over to his girlfriend's house, climbing in through the window, you know, beating the bully in a basketball contest when he's acting like he's this big tough jock.
Space Jam.
What else?
Space Jam. Space Jam. I can't believe Peter Parker's now part of the Goon Squad. This is crazy.
The Goon Squad.
That's what they're called in the new one.
That's why I can't even watch the new one. Anyways,
brings back good memories.
But
what? The goat?
Don't even call him the goat. The first one had MJ, the real goat.
That's my sunshine. You can't say that about LeBron. Dude, I wish Shane was here. Shane and I would be having a tag team on Brice talking about how much we love LeBron.
Ooh, wow.
That is a pleasure, and you know it. Come on, Brice. You like Shane, don't you, Brice?
Anyway, Spider-Man.
Aaron, what are your thoughts on Shane?
Oh my god.
You're a big fan?
I'm a mixed fan with Shane. Love the guy.
What?
There's some hoo boy moments.
Average Shane enjoyer.
I am the average Shane enjoyer. What do you mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
First, the very quick synopsis of you. I don't want to hear anything from you, boy.
I feel it was good. Like even like the vengeance. It was like he webbed up the guy, and then he was like kind of like humiliated, like oh, I gotta sneeze. Achoo, more webs. You know, blah 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 blah. Blah. That was cool.
That was cool.
Oh no, a knife! Like definitely a teenage thing to do. So I feel it was some good teenage Spidey. You know what I'm saying?
Aaron, what are your big plans for Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man? What are your big thoughts?
Well, I agree with most of it, so I'll keep mine short. I did think it was
the superhero guy.
Yes, is the not superhero guy. I did think it was kind of an interesting, contrast between the first funny and this funny.
The second funny.
The second funny. Like I did think it was an interesting dynamic, having the like you said, Bully Maguire all the time. That's what it did feel like. That stammering though. That was that was some that was some hoo boy.
Okay.
It's like, calm down. Get off the crack, okay? Lord have mercy.
He does kind of sound like a guy in New York is having a bad time.
But yeah, no, that's about the extent of my thoughts, because I do agree with,
Spider crack.
Spider.
Peter, how many fingers am I holding up? Okay.
Oh my.
Peter, I need you to name 2 letters. Okay.
Oh my gosh, get out, Charlie. Get out. Charlie.
Did you just figure out that joke?
I figured it out a moment before.
And then go, get out? What is this computing?
I laughed because I thought it was just a stupid, like, nonsensical joke, and then I realized it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a long day, Charlie, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I'm just trying to think of anything else to say about Peter Parker. Hold on. He's I hate the suit. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I hate the suit. I think this is the worst Spider-Man live action suit. I think this is the worst one.
Really? I really like it.
This is a fugly looking beast. This thing looks like the type of toy, like you slap it out the wall, it's gonna climb up. Like this thing looks like rubbery, and I get it's like his first suit or whatever, but like it just doesn't feel bright enough. I hate the lenses. I think the lenses being gold is really strange.
That was
like,
a bad take.
The fact that I can't really like look into his eyes or whatever, like the fact that I really can't focus on it because so much of the movie is shot in a way where like, oh, that's shaded. It's really frustrating. I did not like how non-vibrant the Spider logo was. Like, I gotta know he's Spider-Man, not Rubber McGee. Like, because so much of this movie, he just kind of looks like a bootleg plastic man running around. But
Fair.
I don't because so much I think of my problems with this stupid suit is that so much of it just isn't visible just from the way the movie is shot, because like it's just a movie that likes its shadows. And also I just think we get it too quickly. Like we're a half an hour in, we maybe have like 2 minutes of the homemade suit, and then he's like, okay, I have this new one now, high building, and it's like, what? Whoa,
Right.
and it's like, whoa, like we had a whole like Steve Jobs bootleg homemade suit or whatever that thing. I don't know. Whenever I look at his stupid like ski mask look, I always think it's like Steve Jobs under there for some reason. I don't have a joke on that. That's just like my brain. I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. I'm not saying this one has sense. I'm just saying whenever I look at the Amazing Spider-Man homemade suit, I'm picturing that Steve Jobs swinging around beating up people. That's all I think.
Apple iPod.
He's swinging with lightning cables.
Yeah, right. Brand new design.
Apple 3. Didn't that one fail? Yeah. I just watched a documentary and Steve Jobs was in it, so I don't know. He's on the mind right now, I suppose. But
Okay.
But I don't know, man. Penis Parker, amazing Garfield. He's certainly a guy. Like, I don't think he's awful. I think he could have been the best one. But like, man, it just feels like so much of this movie. He feels stuck between like a bootleg Sam Raimi character and like stammering McGee.
Stammering Mickey.
I'm amazing, John. Don't you forget it.
It's like a guy walks up in khakis and a polo, like polo shirt. I'm the amazing John.
That's
I run a millennial. I run a millennial burger shop.
Millennial burger shop.
We are young. There's a fire in our soul. Have you seen those memes lately? Making fun of all the millennial burger shops.
Yes.
No, I don't even know what a millennial burger shop is.
What?
It's a rustic restaurant that's too expensive.
Yeah, it's like paying $30 for a burger, like that kind of joint.
Well, Charlie, is that little ramble you were on the other day?
Was it?
In our
Yes.
group
Yes,
chat
it
when you're
was.
talking about overpriced burgers and fries. Okay, I know what you're talking about now.
But anyway, yeah, I feel like we've mined out Mr. because I got more to say on him later, but we'll save that for the next movie. But
Okay. All right.
time to spin the wheel.
Next up on the wheel, I've pre-spun the wheel. Next up on the wheel is too many characters.
Okay, so what I mean by too many characters and when you break down this plot, it actually doesn't seem like a lot. So we got Mr. Peter Parker, we got Gwen Stacy, we got Aunt May and Uncle Ben before Uncle Ben gets capped. We've got Peter's parents. We have Flash Thompson, Flash Gordon himself. We have Kurt Connors. We have Kurt Connors' assistant guy. Like, there's not Captain Gwen Stacy. There's not that many characters, but it feels like they've been introduced in the wrong way. And what I mean by that, I'm not saying you can't have changes, but I am saying is that for some of these characters and how they function in very specific ways for the story. For example, so we get introduced to Lizard, like Dr. Kurt Connors, before Uncle Ben dies. That's fine. But it feels like this movie honestly doesn't have enough to do with him in terms of he and Peter's interactions, because I think one of the fun parts about introducing a character like Dr. Kurt Connors is that he is very much a mentor figure to Peter. In the comics, he was friends with him for years before Lizard was even a thing. In the Raimi movies, he was friends with him for a while, and he was his professor. Like, this is just very standard protocol, you have to build up that relationship that Peter sees Connors as at least like a figure he wants to be, an authoritative figure. And that's partially here because obviously he was best friends with his dad, who's dead. We'll get into that. But it feels like we didn't get enough of that, because that's part of like why I think this movie just kind of fell flat for me, is that it felt like with a lot of these characters, we weren't utilizing them correctly. So when I say too many characters, I more mean that each character kind of felt like they weren't organically woven in to what they were supposed to be in that specific portion of the movie. It'd be like, because I feel like an apt comparison for this is like in the Insomniac game on the PS4, the first one, when they introduce Otto, and so much of that game is built around the fact that he and Otto are building that friendship and they're building that, like, that bond, and then he becomes Doc Ock. It'd be like if we only got one scene of that and then it becomes Ock for the rest of the game. It felt like something like that, where I needed more time to establish why Connors going lizard is really bad, you know, because this is going to be the guy that Peter's going to look up to. He's best friends with his dad or whatever. Like, that's a really important relationship. So that's strike one. Strike two is Captain Stacy. Captain Stacy also has a similar problem in the sense that he's also meant to be a mentor figure-ish to Peter. Not to the same degree as a character like Connors or whatever, but he's meant to fill a very specific role for when, after Uncle Ben dies, there is a big era of Spider-Man where he is reliant on Captain Stacy as kind of like that figure in his life to either help him out with Spider-Man stuff or when he's friends with Gwen as Peter Parker as his dad. Spectacular does this really well in the sense that we're introduced to Stacy for a while and he's kind of toying with Peter because he kind of knows he's Spider-Man and that's what makes that relationship fun. And it felt like with here, for one thing, Stacy, I just think like isn't utilized the best because we never have that moment where why should Peter respect Stacy because he's introduced to his home and he's immediately fighting with him about Spider-Man. There's never like that calm before the storm moment where you want them to kind of be on the same side. But so much of it is so one-sided of, I don't like Spider-Man, I don't like you. And then it's, all right, don't date my daughter. It's like, it never felt like we got that kind of wave of emotions that come with a character like Captain Stacy. That's strike two. Strike three, and I would argue this is the most important one, is that I don't care about Peter Parker's parents. They don't matter. Like, I know they exist in the comics. They try to do a billion things with them, but honest to God, who cares? Like, this is not what makes Spider-Man. I'm not saying, again, different takes is different takes, but you're asking us to focus on Uncle Ben, Aunt May, and Peter Parker's parents all at once. And this leads to the fact that I think Aunt May, for one thing, is very underutilized in this movie. I cannot remember a single line of dialogue she said other than the good thing at the end. Uncle Ben also doesn't feel like he's that important because Peter's aspiring to be his dad, so why would he care about Uncle Ben? So we get back to this point where we have three important mentor figures for Peter, but none of them feel as important as they should because they're all fighting for screen time in terms of who is going to hit the hardest when they die. So Captain Stacy dies, but that doesn't matter because he's competing with Kurt Connors, but that doesn't matter because he's competing with his parents, but that doesn't matter because they're not in the movie. Until the second one, we'll get there. Mm-hmm. It feels like it's too many mentors. I need one. So when they die, it hits harder. And I'm not saying you can't have that, but I am saying is like, you can't have these characters competing for screen time because it muddies what relationships are really important to Peter at this specific portion in his life. That's where I think this movie really fell flat for me, is that I didn't know who Peter wanted to be. I knew he wanted to be like his dad, but again, we know nothing about him outside of like one line that Ben said about great power, great responsibility. So it's like, I was missing it, you know? Yeah. I was not amazing it, you know? It's like, it totally fell flat on me.
Yeah, I can get that. And when I first read this prompt, I wasn't quite sure what you meant going in. Like, I don't see there are too many characters, but now when you really put it in I'm a big fan of the Spider-Man PS4 Insomniac games, you know. So I get what you mean about, you know, the relationship with Octavius was really special. And, you know, even in the original Spider-Man trilogy, all Peter has is Uncle Ben, so it makes it more special, right?
And then when Norman shows up, that's mm-hmm. how that works too.
Exactly. So I definitely get what you're saying, and looking into it now, I'm like, yeah, there are definitely too many mentor figures, getting too many father-like roles trying to be filled, and even the clashes, like you see Aunt May and Uncle Ben argue a lot for the little bit of screen time that they have, so that almost puts them in competition with each other. So it really just kind of messes itself up there. So yeah, I definitely get what you're saying, and I definitely agree with you, Charlie.
And
what do you think, Aaron?
And I have nothing to add.
Who is your favorite character?
I liked the Amazing Garfield myself.
I called him that during one of my rants earlier, and I was like, oh, that was a good one. Yeah. The Amazing Garfield.
So I'm just picturing Garfield just beaving around.
He has his blanket over his neck or whatever when he pretends to be a superhero.
Right.
Oh, I love Garf.
Oh my god.
Yeah, wow. Baby. Can we do a Garfield episode?
We should.
Yeah. One of these days. Okay, next.
We're doing it right now.
Get.
Stupid Garfield
The
joke.
fact that song is going through my head. Oh, wait, this is random. We need to do an episode where we play Garfield Kart.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that would be sticky.
Oh,
I agree.
I have that on my computer. Anyways.
What's next on the wheel, Aaron?
I've got it too. Next up on the wheel is Dark and Gritty.
Oh boy! So this is one of my utter least favorite parts of this movie. Let's put ourselves in Sony's shoes. They're defiled. But anyway, let's put ourselves in Sony's shoes. So you just killed your last franchise because you pissed off Sam Raimi and you accidentally made the third one kind of weird. So you're back at square one.
You made a masterpiece.
But to a lot of people, it was kind of weird. But you're back to square one because the way this contract works with Sony is that they have to keep producing Spider-Man movies, or unless they lose the rights and they have to go back to whoever owns them originally. In that case, Disney. You don't want Disney to get the rights because they're your competition. So you have to make a new movie. And what thing about when this movie is kind of going through its developmental stages? It's in the late 2000s and early 2010s. The Dark Knight and Batman Begins, that its trilogy is kind of starting. And that's kind of what superheroes are at this time. They're supposed to be dark and gritty. They're supposed to be edgy. The X-Men trilogy, I think, is already complete at that point, and they made that whole joke about being in leather instead of yellow spandex. This was the industry we were in at this point. This is pre-Avengers, where everything was very, we moved to more of a colorful era. And this is pre-DCEU, which still kind of continued to be gritty. So this is what Amazing Spider-Man was born in. They want to take everything the Raimi's movies were. They didn't want to do anything colorful. They want to kind of bring it back down to earth, make a grounded Spider-Man, make a gritty Spider-Man. And I mentioned this on The Suit before, but it feels like in that pursuit, it kind of missed the point. You know? It feels like so much of this movie is we have to put Spider-Man in this suit because we can't have it be too colorful, or else it kind of ruins the illusion that it's dark and gritty or whatever, or that it could happen in the real world. But the catch-22 of that is that this is not supposed to be the real world. You know, as silly as that sounds, a lot of people have often called Spider-Man a better DC character than a Marvel character because of how much he actually better fits that world. He's always kind of meant to be this colorful, bright character. I'm not saying you can't do anything edgy or dark with him. There's a lot of great edgy and dark Spider-Man stories out there, but they don't drab the suit and these grays and have it lit in a way where you can barely look at the darned thing. They don't have the lizard look like a 5-head for the whole movie, you know? So much of this movie is built around this concept of characters need to be kind of out there. They need to be different from the Raimi movies. And I'm not saying the Raimi movies are law. I have a lot of problems with them, and I'm fine with having a different take. But the one thing those movies got right is that Spider-Man's supposed to be colorful. He's supposed to be energetic. He's supposed to feel like a likable enough guy. And a lot of the characters in this movie, outside of a few, are just very dour, you know? They're just very kind of annoying characters to watch because they're just kind of mean. They're just kind of It's there's moments where I'm looking at Peter and I'm looking at Ben going, I'm supposed to be sad when you die? No, I don't care. And that's also partially because, if I remember correctly, this movie was more based on the Ultimate Comics by Bendis and back in the old Ultimate Universe. So that's part of it too. But a lot of this movie and its identity felt like a reaction to the Raimi movies, in the sense that we got to do something very opposite. We got to do something different. We got to do a different take. And I think in that, it kind of missed one of the most important parts about Spider-Man, is that part of his appeal is that it's a colorful universe, you know? These characters are big and loud. The Green Goblin wouldn't be nearly as entertaining in the Raimi movies if he wasn't this big and loud presence, because that's part of the fun, cringe or not. And so much of this movie felt like so much, you gotta take it seriously. And honestly, I think it's funnier than some of the Raimi movies, because in that attempt for me to take it so serious, it makes it funny by comparison, because the Raimi movies knew exactly what they wanted to do, in the sense of, we're going to make this kind of goofy, but we're going to love it. But then this movie feels so scared to do anything kind of colorful that it loops back around to being kind of funny in a weird way. I don't know. I hated the more, I hate saying the word grounded. I hated the more grounded tone these movies took, or this movie specifically took, because it just felt like you're taking away too much from the character to mold this into something else. It just feels too weird. That's why I didn't like Andrew's take in this movie, because it just felt too edgy. It just felt too kiddie. It felt like a 10-year-old writing Spider-Man thinking, we're going to make him edgy and cool, and he's going to sneeze from his web shooters, and, like, he's going to do this, and he's going to do this. It's like, it feels like a movie I would expect Johnny Cage to be in, not Spider-Man. It's like, this thing is strange, man. I don't know.
That's fair. No, I get that. And that's... You see, I do like darker and grittier movies, hence, you know, The Dark Knight is my favorite movie of all time.
I like the Muppets, so I don't.
Oh, man. I love Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I love, like, all of that. But I can definitely see what you're saying. Like, Spider-Man is not... He can be that dark and gritty character, but, like, you got to do it right. You got to do it with some what's the word I'm looking for?
Finesse.
Some prestige, right? You got to make it. There's got to be a reason for it to be gritty. It can't just be. It's gonna be dark New York, like, you know, we're going all in, like, dark suit. Which, ironically, the MCU did a dark suit better than the Amazing Spider-Man. I'm just gonna say that. I love it, but whatever.
Are you talking about the Night Monkey suit from Far From Home?
The black and gold one. No, I actually hated that suit. That is one.
No, that's not the one from Far From Home. The one that he has when he's in Paris or whatever.
Oh,
he's at the Ferris
Far From Home. I forgot about that. No, I do like that one too. I was talking about
the next monkey,
the black and red one from the end of the movie.
The late monkey, night monkey.
Late monkey.
Yeah, that's an Aaron and I special. Where do you want to tell the story, Aaron?
Oh yeah, I guess so. So this is back in radio show times. So many years, many months ago, because it's only
many years.
Many years.
Last year around this time, actually.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. We were talking about a story. I guess it involved a monkey.
Yeah,
I remember
he died.
My dad was trying to, like, you know, get us to tell the story, and we didn't want to. And I was like, Dad, I'm not telling the story about the late monkey. And then 3, 2, 1, it just became, you know, the whole...
It was hilarious because calling a monkey the late monkey, as in, like, the late James Earl Jones or something, it was like the late famous human, but no, yeah. The late monkey is so funny.
Oh,
that's hilarious.
The late monkey.
The late Abu.
The late monkey.
Oh, good time.
The late Harambe.
But, so, like, I liked it, but also I get, like, you gotta have a reason, right? You can't just be like, my random mentor figure who I was yelling at died.
Yeah, it's like, and you think he ran for the gun? What the heck, man?
No.
That'd be like if Bruce Wayne's parents saw, like, Joe Chill's gun in the middle of Crime Alley and they went, hey! And then started bolting towards it. It's like,
everyone, like, freaking Flintlock wood.
Me Flintlock winning my way to get shot.
Barreling straight to the bullet.
Oh,
huge.
God.
I don't know, Aaron, do you like dark and gritty things? Do you like...
I mean, it depends on the, you know, the movie, but in this case, I prefer the Raimi ones. I like the funny nonsense going on. Like, not that this is not entertaining, because, you know, it has its moments, but oh boy, when it comes, yeah, I don't know. I think the Raimi ones did do it better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. You gotta have that, like, comedy edge to it, and the Raimi perfection, you know, just something else. What a film. Wow.
What a film.
Perfect movie, no flaws.
I don't know, man. I'd still give it a 12 out of 10. Yeah. Yeah, Spider-Man in it. Automatic 10.
Oh, man.
He's just
the character I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Character we all love and admire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Something else we adore and admire is this wonderful Nego wheel we have here. And
that's true.
Next up is Kurt Connors.
So I know I kind of talked about this earlier.
Kurt Cobain?
Well, they both almost died by shotgun.
Oh, that's not the Nirvana I remember.
That'd be like you getting yourself a haircut with a shotgun. That stupid meme from the Spider-Man 2 game. Oh my god. Oh, I liked that game. It's pretty good. But I'm playing through it out of the friend's house right now. But anyway.
Game, no flaws.
Yeah, perfect game, no flaws. But anyway, back to perfect movie, no flaws. But Mr. Kurt Connors, you know, I mentioned this earlier, but I'll go more in depth, is that I feel like I never saw Kurt's life outside of Oscorp, you know? And I know, like, that sounds kind of silly, but it is important because establishing this character outside of just, like, his place of work, as silly as that sounds, is, like, it adds to the tragedy of the character, you know? It's one of the things I think a lot of Spider-Man interpretations do really well. Spectacular does this to the degree where they show Kurt's family a lot. Like his wife is also a scientist at the same lab. Like his kid is running around or whatever. The game that just Spider-Man 2, because he was in that game, does this to a degree where you get to walk around their house and you get to be like, this is where his son is or whatever, even though they probably haven't lived there for years. Like you got to do that to a degree to kind of like establish the tragedy of the lizard. But he's kind of a guy, you know, just kind of alone.
Around Oscorp.
Yeah, he's just memeing around, and it's like it's like that can work, that's fine, but also it's like it doesn't feel like there's any consequences to him in outside of a work setting, and like obviously like going to jail, becoming Oscorp. Like I'm missing that personal, like becoming Lizard, not becoming Oscorp, not becoming the company. I have become Oscorp.
You're too late, Spider-Man. Transforms into building.
Transforms into Cher.
Oh,
I'm Oscorp in it, Spider-Man.
Oscorp in it.
But in all seriousness, it felt like I needed that personal element of the lizard to really make this character work, because like even just from a simple perspective of like if he's closer with Peter, then that also makes the fall more dramatic, because like then hey, we care more. But since Peter really only is kind of around him for a couple scenes, and some of them aren't really that buddy, it's like, like I need to see his home life. I need to see his friends. I need to see who in the lab really admires him. Like I gotta see that personal connection with this character to make me really enjoy him. I love the actor. I think that his actor did a solid job. Like it's not really his fault at all. It's just when you give him kind of nothing of that personal element, it's like, man, what do you expect me to say? I hate the design. I think Brice is right. It's a pretty stinky design. It's a Goomba. It looks like a worse, like it's like a PS1 reptile from Mortal Kombat. That's a second Mortal Kombat reference in this episode.
Creative with how you design the lizard. You can give him scales. You can give him spikes. Even if you just made the head better and made him like just a big green monster with like a more lizard-like head, that would be cool.
Like you gave him the jacket or the pants or whatever. Give him a ripped shirt. Like give something, man.
Yeah. Give him literally anything to make him look less like Abomination.
Or just like something I'd find on my toe. Like he just looks like a weird little guy, and it's like I can't be intimidated. And I hate that he talks. I think that's so lame, because part of the fun of the lizard is that when he's in the lizard mode, he loses all control and he's a totally different beast from Connors, and that adds to the tragedy. But if he can talk and go, poor Peter Parker, okay, it's like it doesn't work. It's like it's not as intimidating.
Yeah.
I don't know, Aaron, do you like lizards in general?
Well, I mean, in general, yeah, it's pretty cool, but I do agree with it just looks so bad. It's so bad.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
It's the worst, bro.
Yeah. And this was, what was this, 2012?
Yeah, this is 2012.
I mean, PS3 was cranking out better lizard graphics than that.
You probably were.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a game that the lizard was in at that time, because obviously this is pre-Insomniac, but so
Gex
this is all...
looks better.
I was about to say Gex. Now that's what I call getting some tail. Note to self. This is like taco night at the Sony Pictures production.
Did not get a career advice from Andrew Garfield.
Oh man.
What's some more awful Gex quotes? There's a couple winners in there.
Yeah.
This is worse than letting Mark Webb direct a Spider-Man movie.
That's a Family Guy cutaway. That's a different thing.
There's one about drinking tap water. Is it like tap water at Andy Garcia's house? It's always a house. It's always somebody's house.
This old house. He says this old house.
Yep.
I love Gex. We should play Gex.
Oh yeah. Oh, and the new Gex trilogy is coming out soon.
Oh, you're right. They're going to put them all on digital. It's going to be wonderful. Aaron, I think we have a date with Gex coming up soon.
Oh, yeah.
Gex night.
Absolutely Gex night.
Should.
We'll make
Really
Gex night happen.
We'll make X9 guys, you'll see that eventually. I don't know. But yeah, the lizard, he looks like something I'd find in my shoe. I don't like him. I need the personal connection there. He was cool in No Way Home, but also it's not a high bar.
Not a high bar.
Yeah.
Okay, next up on the list is very Sam Raimi moments.
I mean, we kind of touched on this a little earlier, but man, this movie's trying really hard not to be Sam Raimi, but holy crap, there's a couple moments that are just very Sam Raimi. I just keep thinking the stupid basketball scene where he's beaming around with the ball and Flash is trying to catch him. And he jumps up in the air like he's it's Space Jam. It's
That's all I can think of with Space Jam.
That is the Goon Squadron itself. It's what are you gonna do? But it just felt like so much of this movie was kind of trying to be Sam Raimi, but really ashamed about it. There's that moment in the subway where Connors is kind of talking to himself, and he has the voices in his head, and he's about to lizard or whatever, and he's like, "Grr, you have to show them your strength. You can't give it up at all." And it's whoa, okay, whoa.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down, buckaroo.
It's Raimtastic.
I'm Raiming it.
Oh no. I was thinking it. I was hoping you weren't going to say it.
Oh, we all know me. There's no bar low enough. But
She's Sam on my Raimi
till I Spider-Man.
Oh, God.
She was everything. I'm Spider-Man. But I don't know, man. But
Yeah.
just man, this movie just feels like a very
Strawberries.
What?
Remember James Franco, Spider-Man 3?
Oh yeah. That's a better movie. That's why I didn't remember it.
Yeah.
I just keep thinking of the moment in the restaurant where he's eating the pie. He's like, "You like the pie? So good." I need more of that.
Oh man.
That's what are we doing here, guys? There's so many. It's do you want to be Sam Raimi or not? I'm not saying you have to be, but it feels like there's so much of this movie that's Sam Raimi adjacent, and it confuses me.
Yeah.
No, it's not anti-Raimi. It's half and half, but you can't half and half Raimi. You full send it or you don't.
It's Diet Raimi.
The Raimisms.
A Raimist. Are you a firm Raimist, Brice?
I am going to plead the fifth on that one.
Shane?
Pick a new one.
Guys, Shane is a diehard Raimist.
You know what? I could see that. Shane goes to the Church of Raimi. Raimolithism.
Raimology.
Raimology. Aaron, do you like Raimology? You a big fan?
Big fan. Big fan.
Big fan? Biggest fan?
Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah.
Lifelong practicing. Oh yeah.
Aaron, what do you think of Sam Raimi moments in this stinky little movie? What do you got?
I mean, no, we basically said them all. I mean, there's the basketball scene. That is the one that will forever get me.
It's so funny.
Like,
I love it when the girl her gum pops before he dunks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's still Diet Raimi though. It's not full send
Diet Raimi.
It is
full send. You stole my frisbee. That didn't happen. Maybe that's from the YouTube poop. The legendary Peter the Park Ranger.
Wonderful YouTube poop.
Oh yeah. All right, well, I think we're moving on to the last thing on the wheel here with Gwen Stacy.
Ooh.
I'm Gwen in it.
So, I am too, dude. But, so here's a fun fact about Gwen. So, I noticed this time when I was watching through, because as I previously alluded to, I'm writing a script for a class right now. And dialogue scenes are always tricky to that regard, because you always want to have it feel like your characters are talking to each other for a reason. And that they're not really going in circles when they're talking. And I think so much of this was it felt like every interaction with Gwen was like the same interaction for so long. And I could make my stammer jokes about Peter going, huh. But like, no, I think part of it kind of goes down to the fact that none of these conversations really feel like these characters are bonding over what they like mutually or like what kind of their inner lives are or whatever. It kind of feels like it's the same, like, hey, I kind of like you. Really? Yeah. I like you. Whoa. It's like, it's all that very like stammer-y kind of dialogue.
I like you. Want to get a milkshake?
No, but in this movie would be, hey, I like you. You want to get like a milkshake Friday? Oh, not Friday. Oh, Saturday? Yeah. It's like,
Okay.
I was trying not to do that. I was trying not to beat that dead horse, but like, it feels like so much of this is just like this stinktacular, like stammery Gwen dialogue. And since that's most of what we get from her, it kind of sucks because I love Emma Stone. Like, she is one of my favorite actresses working today. She's got 2 Oscars for a reason, but it felt like in this movie, they kind of gave her like, all right, so you are going to improv with Andrew here instead of like actually like having like a moment occasionally. Like, obviously they happen, but unlike with, and I didn't like how they did it in the last movies either, where honestly, I don't think they actually did it well in the MCU weirdly enough, but it never felt like we really got those moments where I was like, so what did they actually like about each other other than you're pretty?
Pretty nice.
You're pretty cool. And it's like Gwen's dialogue is just all that. It's like, Dad, I'm really busy. I'm working. I have cramps, and it's it's really it's crazy in here, And it's like, okay. It's like, all right, champ. And it's like, when every dialogue is that, it gets kind of old. I know a lot of people like these two together, and that's fine. Like, they're cute, obviously. But I feel like I like them together, not because of anything I'm seeing on screen, just because of the fact that it's Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone memeing around on set. And that's all I'm really getting here. I don't know. I didn't hate her. Like, she didn't offend me. She was way better than MJ. I don't know. That's not a high bar. But like, I don't know. I felt like I got the same interaction with her for a lot of the movie. And just like, ooh. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think here because, like, I also in the back of my mind, I'm always keeping like the second movie. She was so much worse. Like this really isn't as bad as it gets, and trying to keep it objective to this movie though. I get what you're saying. Just go improv with him. Yeah. Like,
because that's what it is. It's just multiple sides.
It's this. We've said it a bunch, but the stammering, the repetition, that's just every character, as if high schoolers don't know how to speak English. But
well,
perfect character, no flaws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really know what else I can add to Charlie's.
Yeah, I have nothing to add to that.
Point of
what,
view.
Aaron? What?
Pretty,
I don't know. Crazy.
Donald, man. What are your thoughts on Sten Guacy?
Breaking news. Aaron has
Sten
nothing
Guacy.
to add.
She's actually my favorite DC superhero.
I love her. She's a real big leader in the Justice League. Real big character.
Yeah, bro. Especially when she uses the Force.
Oh, dude, and like she does like the peace symbol from Star Trek to like
yeah, and then she marries Master Shake.
Yeah, and then she makes peace between the Na'vi and the evil corporation Avatar, who I forgot the name of.
Yeah.
Umbrella.
Yeah. Oh, Umbrella Corporation, right?
Yeah, and they have to fight the Foot Clan. Everyone knows that.
Yes. And Dr. Zombox.
Oh, lest we forget. And they have to go to Halloween Town so that way they can figure out how to make their plants more optimal for the night stages.
And how they can go back to the future.
With Michael Myers.
And then they can listen to this podcast and say it's a classic. And then there'll be a nightmare on 13th Street.
I was about to say 34th Street.
Would have been good.
There you go.
How many franchises have you just referenced there? It's a lot.
That was a lot.
That's a future Aaron count.
A disheveled Aaron shows up in a war-torn apocalypse like, guys, it's 12! This is the key.
No, the way I'm picturing it is like a buzzer from like a game show. Ding, 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 ding. And then a deep-fried Aaron just...
12.
That's what I'm hearing.
Oh my god.
But anyway, that's amazing. Stinky Man. What a perfect movie. No flaws. And I guess to wrap this up briefly, it wasn't great. And that's all I have to say. Like, it's just like, it's not.
I still like the movie.
What? Different opinion, grr.
It's not great. It's no Toby. But it's still pretty good.
It's no Hop.
It really is no Hop.
I liked it more than Far From Home.
What?
Did you like it better than Hop?
That's a good question.
Did you like it better than Hop?
He wasn't there for the episode. He doesn't get it.
Yeah, Hop. The movie.
The hit movie Hop with James Marsden.
Also known as Sonic.
Yeah, it's the precursor to Sonic, where James Marsden was also with a colorful cartoon character bugging him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Made by Illumination. Their only live action effort.
Oh, nice.
Wasn't. Pretty bad.
Oh.
Pretty nice.
So?
Nonsense. But I don't know, man. This movie's just not great.
Yeah, I'm just kind of in the same boat. I prefer the Raimi ones over anything.
But guys, there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh.
Because it's not the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh, what do you mean? That movie's awful, but it's so entertaining. But we'll have to save that for a few months down the road. But guys, thank you so much for listening to the Double After Hours Stinkcast. It's been a wonderful time recording this. In terms of what we've got on the deck for next week, that, if I remember correctly, is a little bit up in the air because, well, we're kind of still figuring that out because our schedule has been kind of going through a little bit of a weird little rocky rock slide here lately. So,
thanks to a certain episode.
yeah, thanks to a certain darn episode. So, to be honest, I honestly don't know what's going to happen next week. It could be anything from maybe like a tier list thing to maybe we'll talk about Avatar, maybe we'll talk about another show, maybe we'll talk about something else, but we're going to have something next week. Stay tuned. We'll let you know when it comes out because if you subscribe to us on all of the platforms, you'll get it obviously if you put on the notifications. But to be fair, it's been kind of a weird little scheduled hiccup in the road lately. It's going to get ironed out in these next couple months. But sorry we couldn't provide anything this time, but it'll be different. It'll be different because a couple of these episodes depend on people's schedules kind of moving around. So you'll see what we got next time. But other than that, we have a fun little end card letting you know where you can listen to us. I've been Charlie Robison, and I'll see y'all next time.
I'm Brice Guskovict. I'm not forgetting to introduce myself this time.
And I'm Aaron Gresser. Okay. We'll catch y'all next time. Goodbye. Thank you for listening to the Double After Hours podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe to us wherever you get your podcast. If you want to see a full list of our platforms, be sure to check out our page at rss.com, linked in the description below. We've got social media pages featuring highlights on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, with links below. The best way to help us grow is by sharing us wherever you can, or by telling a friend, family member, co-worker, or whoever by word of mouth. It goes a long way. Thanks for listening and staying after hours.